Ever found yourself staring at something and thinking, why did I buy this? It's like your brain just hit buy now and your wallet didn't get the memo. Whether it's that random gadget, those shoes you swore you need, or the third coffee of the day, there is more going on than just a shopping spree. There is a psychology to it, and trust me, it's not all about treating yourself. In today's video, we're cracking open the mystery behind why we buy stuff we don't even want and how to break free from the cycle. Ready to stop making impulse buys your new hobby? Let's dive into the psychology of spending. I'll tell you exactly how to change those habits for good. Overspending isn't just about a lack of self-control. There are multiple psychological, emotional, and social factors at play that push us to make those purchases, sometimes without even realizing long-term consequences. Let's break down the key triggers that lead to overspending, how they affect your financial health, and quickly after that, how to break those bad habits. In a world where everything is available at the push of a button, waiting for anything feels like an inconvenience. Whether it's a food delivery, a new outfit, or the latest tech gadget, our culture thrives on instant gratification. When you make a purchase, your brain gets a quick burst of dopamine, a feel-good chemical that reinforces the behavior. However, this feeling is short-lived. The thrill of buying something new fades quickly, leaving you with a financial reality, a purchase that might not have been necessarily in the first place. Over time, chasing these dopamine hits can lead to impulse buying and unnecessarily spending, which puts you at risk of accumulating debt and missing long-term savings goals. Delay purchases to delay gratification. When you feel the urge to make an impulse purchase, pause for 5-10 minutes before deciding. During that time, take a moment to reflect whether the purchase aligns with your financial goals, or is it simply about getting that quick dopamine hit. The longer you delay, the less likely you are to make the purchase. Create a wish list. Instead of buying something on the spot, add it to a wish list or shopping cart and revisit it in a few days. By giving yourself a waiting period, you are allowing time for the excitement to wear off and for you to evaluate whether the item is worth the purchase. Set long-term goals and reward yourself for reaching milestones. Replace small impulsive rewards with the longer-term rewards that aligns with your larger goals, like treating yourself to something special once you hit a savings milestone. This shifts your brain's reward system from seeking instant gratification to focusing on long-term satisfaction. Practice mindful spending. Before every purchase, ask yourself, am I buying this because it's what I truly need, or am I just trying to get a quick emotional boost? Being mindful of your purchases can help curb the desire for instant gratification and help foster more intentional buying. Visualize long-term benefits. Try visualizing the future rewards of saving and investing. Imagine what your savings account will look like if you make fewer impulse purchases. Keeping that vision in mind can help you resist the immediate temptation and focus on future satisfaction. Ever gone shopping after a stressful week at work or when you are feeling down? Emotional spending is incredibly common, especially when we are looking for ways to cope with negative emotions. Spending money on things that make us feel good in the moment, like a shopping spree or a nice meal out, becomes the temporary escape from whatever stress or anxiety we are dealing with. While it may seem harmless at first, emotional spending can become a damaging cycle. The problem arises when it becomes a regular habit, using spending as a form of therapy. Not only does it drain your bank account, but it also fails to address the root causes of the emotions you are trying to manage. Identify emotional triggers. Keep track of the emotions you experience right before you make a purchase. Are you stressed, lonely, bored, or celebrating something? By recognizing your emotional triggers, you can start to separate your feelings from your spending decisions. Create emotional spending alternatives. Instead of using spending as a way to cope, replace it with healthier emotional outlets. For instance, if you shop to deal with stress, try exercising, meditating, or talking to a friend. By finding emotional alternatives, you can break the cycle of emotional spending. Pause and reflect before emotional purchases. When you are about to make a purchase due to an emotional trigger, pause and ask yourself, will I feel better after buying this, or is it just a temporary fix? Giving yourself a moment to reflect can prevent you from making unnecessary purchases. Budget for emotional spending. Acknowledge that emotional spending will happen, but plan for it. Set aside the small, fun budget for those moments when you feel the urge to treat yourself. Having a budgeted amount makes it easier to indulge without derailing your finances. Seek professional help if emotional spending is frequent. If emotional spending is becoming a consistent issue and is affecting your financial well-being, consider seeking support from a financial counselor or therapist. Emotional spending is often a symptom of deeper issues, and working through this with professional help can be incredibly effective. It's hard to avoid the constant barrage of lifestyle influences, from friends to social media to ads that seem to know you better than you know yourself. The pressure to keep up with others is real, especially when it feels like everyone else has the latest iPhone or is posting photos from their extravagant vacations. Social media often shows up the highlights of other people's lives, creating an illusion that we need to keep up to be happy or accepted. In reality, these comparisons can make us feel inadequate, pushing us to overspend just to fit in. It's easy to feel like you are missing out or falling behind if you are not keeping up with the trends or the ideal lifestyle, leading to spending that isn't in line with your own values or budget. Limit social media exposure. Social media can be a breeding ground for comparison. Consider limiting your time on platforms that make you feel pressured to spend. You can mute or unfollow accounts that trigger the urge to buy in order to reduce the limit of social comparison on your spending habits. Create your own financial goals. Focus on your own financial journey and define success on your own terms. Rather than keep up with others, set personal goals, like saving for a vacation, buying a home, or paying off debt, and measure your progress against those. Your financial success isn't defined by anyone else's spending. Practice gratitude. Start a gratitude practice by listing the things you already have that bring you joy. Reminding yourself of the value of what you already own can reduce the temptation to constantly chase new material possessions. Invest in experiences, not things. Rather than focusing on material things, invest in experiences that align with your values and bring you true happiness, like travel, learning, or time spent with loved ones. Experiences are often more fulfilling and provide long-term memories, not just fleeting moments of excitement. By the way, there is a full video on how social comparison can really affect your finances. Don't forget to watch that next. Some people get a rush from spending itself. It could be from scoring a great deal, treating themselves to something they've wanted for a while, or indulging in something luxurious. This habit forms a reward-seeking loop, when your brain associates spending with pleasure. Each time you get that high, you reinforce the behavior, making it more likely that you'll continue the cycle. While treating yourself occasionally isn't a problem, consistently relying on spending as a way to reward yourself can become a financial trap. Eventually, you may find yourself living paycheck to paycheck, always seeking the next reward, but never reaching the true sense of financial security. Create a reward fund. Instead of relying on impulse spending as a reward, set aside a specific reward fund each month. This way, you can budget for the occasional treat without feeling guilty. When you reach your financial goals, you can dip into this fund to reward yourself, ensuring you don't go overboard. Practice delayed gratification. Build a habit of delaying gratification by waiting 24 to 48 hours before purchasing anything you want. During this time, assess whether the item is truly worth the reward or if the craving will fade. This pause allows you to distinguish between genuine desires and fleeting impulses. Reframe spending as a tool, not a reward. Instead of using spending as a way to reward yourself, begin viewing money as a tool for long-term goals. Redirect the pleasure of spending you have into saving or investing. A new mindset will shift your relationship with money, focusing on the future instead of instant pleasure. Celebrate small wins without spending. Reward yourself for achieving smaller financial milestones, like sticking to a budget for a week in ways that don't require spending. Take time for self-care, enjoy a relaxing evening, or spend time doing a hobby you love. Celebrating without spending reinforces the idea that happiness doesn't need to come with a price tag. Track your reward spending. Keep track of the times you indulge in reward spending and see if it aligns with your financial goals. This will help you spot patterns of unnecessarily spending and encourage you to find more meaningful, non-financial ways to reward yourself. Sometimes the biggest issue isn't that we are overspending, it's that we don't even realize how much we're spending. Without a clear understanding of our finances, we might make purchases on a whim without realizing a cumulative effect it has on our bank accounts. This lack of awareness is often the result of not tracking expenses or setting a budget, which can lead to overspending without any plan to counterbalance it. When you don't have a clear picture of your financial health, it's easy to justify purchases, ignore small spending leaks, or convince yourself that it's no big deal. But when those small, frequent purchases add up, they can result in a serious debt. Track every expense. Start tracking all your expenses, no matter how small. Use an expense tracking app or a simple spreadsheet to log each purchase. This helps you see exactly where your money is going, making it easier to spot unnecessary spending that can quickly add up. Review your bank statements regularly. Make it a habit to review your bank statements at least once a week. This ensures you are aware of all your transactions, helping you catch any unnecessary subscriptions or spending leaks before they spiral out of control. Set a budget and stick to it. Create a clear budget with allocated amounts for your needs, wants, and savings. Enforce your budget by monitoring your spending and adjusting when necessary. This keeps you accountable and prevents the overspending without a plan. Set financial goals and review progress. Define both short-term and long-term financial goals. Regularly review your progress to see how your spending affects these goals. Keeping track of your financial milestones helps you stay motivated and aware of how each purchase impacts your overall financial health. Automate savings. Set up automatic transfers to your savings or investment accounts every pay period. This ensures you pay yourself first and prevents overspending by automatically moving money to your savings before you have a chance to spend it. Breaking from bad spending habits isn't an overnight fix, it's a process. It's about building awareness, setting realistic goals, and developing new, healthier habits. As you make small adjustments, you'll notice that your impulse buys become less frequent and your financial goals become more achievable. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional with your spending and building habits that support your future self. Keep going and don't be afraid to slip up along the way. That's the part of the process. The key is to always get back on track, one step at a time. Now, once again, thank you guys for watching this video. Until the next time, I think we'll talk about how to overcome financial stress, so don't forget to subscribe to not miss it.